this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. I want to take this time to say that I hope that Black Republicans are satisfied with the choice they made during this election cycle. Some of them were very defiant in their support of Donald Trump, and some of them were just downright smug. But now that he is securely elected President of the United States, Donald Trump is playing in the face of Black Republicans. He is showing you just what he thinks about you. Nobody sucked up to Donald Trump the way Black Republican men did. The Indians didn't even suck up to Donald Trump, except for Vivek Ramaswamy, who was just sucking up to all white people. And yet, Donald Trump has chosen 3 or 4 Indians to be in key positions in his new administration, and he has chosen one Black man to be in a token position that is playing in your face. It is showing that he has no respect for you. Some of his social media supporters bragged that they were not going to vote for Kamala, and they made derogatory remarks about her based on I don't know what, but they had this animosity towards her that I found mystifying. And when she lost, they were mocking her and still talking about her and still won't let her name rest. They still have this grudge against Kamala. Meanwhile, the man they helped put in office is showing them his behind. So this article comes from the Hindustan Times, an Indian newspaper, and I will add that this newspaper also writes a lot of nasty stories and lies about Meghan Markle. But anyway, it says Donald Trump taps 3 vocal Hindu lawmakers for key cabinet roles. Who are they? With Indian origin figures like Kash Patel and Vivek Ramaswamy, Donald Trump's incoming cabinet is seen as a major win for India. And now it spouts hyperbole by saying his 2.0 cabinet features several Indian origin lawmakers, some of whom have sparked debate not just for their political credentials, but also for their outspoken stances on their religious beliefs. I don't know anything about them being outspoken on anything. They're nothing but puppets. I mean, really, let's just call it what it is. When Ann Coulter told Vivek Ramaswamy that she wouldn't vote for him because he was an Indian, after so much discussion about it, he decided that it wasn't because he was an Indian, it was because he was a Hindu. But he never said anything favorable about being a Hindu. He was just hiding behind that because he did not want to accept the fact that she had told him to his face that she wouldn't vote for him because he was an Indian. So I don't know what these Indians are talking about in this newspaper. Everybody's trying to thump their chest, but I wouldn't trust Donald Trump because all he's going to do is use them and then talk about them and throw them under the bus if they don't go along with everything that he tries to do, whether it's right or wrong. Among his picks are Kash Patel, a 44-year-old Trump loyalist with roots in Gujarat. Alongside Patel, figures like Tulsi Gabbard and Vivek Ramaswamy have gained attention for their vocal embrace of their Hindu roots. And if I'm not mistaken, he has also named another Indian to some type of advisory position or a cabinet level position. So he is adding Indians to his cabinet, I guess, as a dig at Kamala, since she's also half Indian. Now, we're not going to be fooled by it. These are people who are going to do exactly what he wants them to do or else. Donald Trump and the Indians have a lot in common. Neither one of them suffered or sacrificed anything to build this country, but have come here and benefited off the labor of Black people. And for people who always want to jump in and say, well, nobody's going to do anything for black people, nobody's going to do anything for black people, you don't care about black people. You care about yourself. You're saying they're not going to do anything for me. Because if you cared about black people, you would be out there trying to do something for black people yourself. This is total disrespect, and representation does count. It is important for black people to be in key positions in this country. You don't know whether they do anything for black people or not. You don't know whether it benefits black people or not. Joe Biden has just sworn in a number of black federal judges. That does make a difference. That does make a difference when you go to federal court, when you have somebody who might possibly be willing to hear your side of the story and give you a fair shake. That does make a difference. So out of these 5 duly elected congressmen, you mean to tell me not one of them was competent enough to be appointed to a position in the cabinet? These 5 are as loyal as anybody you're going to find in the Republican Party, and not one of them was qualified to be in a cabinet role. That's just plain discrimination against these men, especially after they tried so hard to impress Donald Trump, especially Tim Scott and then Byron Donalds, who, by the way, has a criminal record. Atlanta Black Star says, being a part of Trump world isn't easy. Black Republicans fret over Donald Trump's lone black cabinet pick. Claim HUD appointment is token black job assigned by GOP presidents. And they're right about that. The Republicans will give the black guy the HUD job. And if that's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. An unnamed Southern Black Republican asked ABC News, why is every black person given HUD? Then added, it's the literal black job of the administration. Yes, it is. And the reason they will only give a black person the HUD job is because a black person will take it. They will never take a stand and say, no, Mr. President, if this is all you've got to offer after all the work we've done, after we've advocated for you, you can take this job and shove it. But they don't ever have the character or the courage to do that because they're too desperate to get ahead. Black Republicans expected more from Donald Trump, as young black male voters played a big role in the president-elect's victory, winning votes from roughly 3 out of every 10 black men under 45 in 2024. Trump nearly doubled his support from that demographic compared to 2020. The shift was most pronounced in battleground states like North Carolina and Georgia, where Trump's share of the black vote rose by 5 percentage points from the previous election. So if they thought they were going to get anything from Donald Trump, it was wishful thinking because he never promised them anything. And if beating Kamala was worth it and trying to show the Democrats that they weren't going to vote for the Democrat, if that was worth it, then it was a great payoff. And so good for them. Maybe if they continue to vote Republican, maybe one day one of them will make it to being head janitor in the White House or the chief gardener over the presidential grounds. They can only hope. But black Republicans have been mostly silent on the apparent slight for reasons partly of their own making. I can't tweet that we need more black conservatives because the left will attack me saying it's a DEI hire. So there he goes punking out by blaming something on the left, people who are not even thinking about him. The reason he can't advocate for more black conservatives because most black people see those white Republicans for what they are. These so-called black conservatives are wishful thinking black men who want to be involved with white people, especially white women. So they are telling themselves any kind of lie to make excuses for the fact that those people do not want you in that party and they do not want you to have those jobs. While the cabinet has been filled out, key positions remain. Black Republicans are hopeful Trump will diversify his administration within the ranks of presidential assistants. In his last administration, Trump had but one black personal assistant, reality show star Omarosa Newman. The Republican Party has never really fallen into the category of representation matters, an unnamed Republican operative told ABC News. Our strength comes from diversity, but that is not our bumper sticker slogan. We're not going to nominate black folks for the sake of nominating black folks. That is a very offensive remark. Every black person that has ever served in any cabinet has been overqualified for the job, more qualified and more effective than any white person. That is very, very insulting. And it's what so many white people really want to believe. They want to believe that they are so much smarter than black people and that you can't possibly be qualified to do the job. They do not want to compete with black people because they know that black people are superior to them, but they will never acknowledge it. And the more you try to work with them and reason with them, the more difficult they become. It's a waste of time dealing with these white conservative Republicans. That's what I say. What say you? Thank you for listening. Give me a thumbs up and have a good evening.